Can I wish you all a very warm welcome to our lecture this evening. This is a lecture at Equality Action, or as we have been known over the years by different names. We've had various people, personalities from all walks of life addressing subjects and questions which are certainly very keen to us, which we felt as an organisation it was right to broaden out so we could have a discussion about those issues which confront us all as a society. So it's great to see you all here this evening, particularly Andrew Moffat, who Lisa will say more about in a moment. But welcome, Andrew. Thank you for coming all the way over from Birmingham. We really started, I suppose, in response to when Idi Amin, you may remember, most of you probably too young, but Idi Amin, very many years ago, threw out hundreds of thousands of Ugandan Asians, and about 20,000 came to the UK, many of them settling in Leicester and many in Loughborough. But of course there wasn't really much for them here. Many came without English language, many came feeling vulnerable. And so the organisation then known as The Garden, today called Equality Action, began. I'm not here to tell you the history. The book will do that for you. But I was thinking in preparation for this evening about the word equality. And that's fine, welcome. And I found straight away I was thinking about George Orwell's Animal Farm. You may remember when one of the pigs said that all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. So why equality action? Well, the word equality can mean many things. Of course, we are not all equal in our stations of life, but I do believe, and Equality Action believes, that every human being is born equal, is born as a unique, a once only, a one-off human being. And sadly, throughout the history of the human race and into today, we may say everyone's equal, but how many of us actually practice that in our day-to-day life? We can see over the last 6 months or so, well, no, let's say 3 years, how polarised the country's become for various reasons. I won't mention that word. I'm trying to forget about it. But we are polarised, and Andrew has been doing a great deal in addressing this by making sure no child is felt an outsider. Equality Action, we are trying to do what we can in our local community to make sure that nobody is an outsider. Let's welcome Lisa as our new trustee.
Wow, okay. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, cool. Okay. I could say so many things about this man, and I'm going to try and keep it brief. But how I'm going to introduce him is by telling you about my experience of working with him. We co-authored with about 10 other individuals, experts and local authorities across the country a toolkit for schools a couple of years ago. And there was a day where, thankfully I didn't have to organise it, where we all got together at Parkfield School, and we got to go to the school, and in amongst all our conversations, Andrew said to us, "Shall we have a break? Do you want to go on a tour of the school?" And I was like, and I was really enjoying the conversations, but I think it was probably time, wasn't it? So, you know, up we got, all 12 of us, and he took us on a tour of the primary school. And on every single corridor, there was a no outsiders board. So, of course, you know, for those of you who work in a school, I'm hoping there's still boards in school a lot, and it's not all just technology. But actually, you know, along all the corridors, there are boards telling you information. And on every single corridor, there was a no outsiders board about the programme, about, you know, how no one should be an outsider. But Andrew also took us into some classrooms, and I think it was either a reception or year 1 class, so really small children. And he said, you know, these are some visitors, and obviously they were like 5, so they were all like, some of them were like this, and some of them were like, and waving. But you asked them, you said, can you tell these visitors what does no outsiders mean? And I kid you not, these small children who were like 4 or 5 were like, it means that everybody has a friend in our school. It means that everybody has a place in our school. It means that, bullying doesn't really happen. And then we went into a year 6 class and they were saying, it doesn't matter if you're gay or Muslim or transgender or disabled, in our school you have a place. And I just remember being really inspired by it, thinking, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if this was in every school? And I've actually been in some schools in my own professional life in the last couple of years, and I've seen the No Outsiders posters, and I've seen there was almost like a plaque in reception. I was telling you about it earlier. So I know from personal experience, and I am biased, that Andrew does some absolutely amazing work. So I'm going to leave it there, but I should say your formal job title. Yes. Not just a nice touchy-feely story about my experience. So Andrew is the personal development lead at Excelsior Trust in Birmingham, but has also obviously developed the No Outsiders programme, which is what he's here to talk about. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, it's really nice to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm going to talk quickly for about an hour, then we're going to have questions and answers. So you might have heard about, well, I'm sure you have heard about No Outsiders, you might have an image of what it's about. Often it's LGBT lessons, what everyone thinks No Outsiders is about. That's how it's couched in the media. It was Sunday Times had a headline last year. It said, I'll defy hate to keep my sex lessons. So as though No Outsiders is about sex. There's no sex in No Outsiders. That's not very much LGBT to LGBT. This for me is what No Outsiders is all about. It's about preparing children for life in modern Britain. Because our children are not wrapped up in cotton wool, are they? They're not cocooned. They're going to be hearing stuff about the world around them. On the way to school, if they're in a car, they might be hearing the radio and hearing news bits. They'll be having older siblings talking about stuff around the news. So they might be seeing things like this. I don't know if you saw Happy Brexit Day, on the day after, a block of flats in Norwich, someone put these posters up saying, if you don't speak English, you're not welcome in these flats. No, it's only one block of flats, and they're taken down very quickly. But those kind of things our children might be seeing. Now, my school, Parkfield Community School, where I've been for the last 5 years, is 99% Muslim. And when Donald Trump was talking about not accepting planes from Muslim countries and all that kind of stuff a couple of years ago, our children are very clear that, in fact, a child said to me, Donald Trump doesn't like Muslims. That's from the words of a child. And why is he building a wall? Why build a wall? To keep people out or to keep people in? Our children are going to be asking these kind of questions. You might have seen the headline on the bottom right there, children whitening skin to avoid racial hate crime. That was on the BBC last year. In 2020, that's the situation that we're in. Children are whitening their skin, seriously. And the little lad there, Lee, his name is, and he was from the US, and a couple of summers ago, he's 9 years old, he told his mum he thought he might be gay, and his mum was very loving, they had a nice summer together, and he said to her, when I go back to school, I think I'm going to tell children in my class. So he did, he told them on the Monday that he thought he might be gay, and on Thursday he took his own life. So, what was he learning in that school about being gay, about being different families? For me, this is what No Outsiders is all about. Children are hearing stuff in the world around them, and we've got to be helping them to explore the world safely and to find answers. So for me, it's about an alternative narrative. Schools have got to have this alternative narrative because I can't control what children are going to be hearing outside the school gates. I have no control what they're seeing on YouTube or on the news or what they're hearing from older siblings or from other people. I have no control over that, but I absolutely have control of what they're hearing inside the school gates. And what I need to be hearing inside the school gates is very, very simple. The simple message, diversity is wonderful. That's it. Diversity is brilliant. You know what's brilliant about our school? The best thing about our school is that you can have white skin or black skin or brown skin. You can have different religion, Christian, Muslim or Hindu or Sikh or Jewish or have no faith. You can have disabilities. You can be gay, lesbian or trans. You can have different families. You can come from a different country, have a different language. Isn't that wonderful? Imagine how boring it would be if our school, if everyone was the same. Imagine how boring that would be if you all looked the same, did the same things all the time, ate the same things. What a boring place that would be. Do you know what's great about our school is that we're all different and we get along. That's fantastic. And actually, that's what living in the UK is about as well. I'm not asking children to question their faith or what their parents say. I'm just saying, yeah, there are different ideas. And as that mum says, our children need to have two ideas in their head and accept both views. We can balance, we can coexist. And a good example of that is I'm a minibus driver at my school, and I was taking a football team to a match a couple of years ago, and I came out of my school a couple of years ago after doing outsiders, and there was no problem at all. And a boy in year 6, 11-year-old, he was in the front seat, and I could feel him looking at me out of the corner as well, and I kept thinking, oh, I can feel a question coming on here. And he said, can I ask you a question? I said, of course you can. And he said, why did you choose to be gay? I said, oh, I love that question. Why did I choose to be gay? Actually, I was driving. I didn't really have my hands like that. I was driving. Why did you choose to be gay? And I said, I'm going to answer it by asking you a question back. I said, why did you choose to have brown skin? So I didn't choose to have brown skin. I said, I know. I didn't choose to be gay. It's just the way I am. He said, oh. I said, can I ask you another question? I said, yes. And he said, in mosques, they tell us that you can't be gay, but you say you can be gay, so which one is it? So I said, oh, that's a great question too. Do you know what? That's the great thing about living in Britain. You can have different ideas, different beliefs, and you can talk about it. And sometimes it's hard, you know, I might not agree, but you can still have respect for each other. You can still get along. That's what living in the UK is all about. And that's it. And that is what I've been saying for the last 4 years, because what other answer is there? There isn't another answer, is there? I'm not going to say to him, well, Moscow's wrong, because it's not. It's a belief, and that's absolutely fine. But also, I'm not wrong either. You know, so we just coexist, just two different ideas. We can talk about it, we can debate, we might not agree, but we can have respect for each other.